Okay, I'm recording it now. This is the thing I had to try recording. So Barb's in her craft room and so is Linda. Yay!
Yay.
Okay, ladies, I ran across this idea and I thought, well, this is a good one to do, to try. It's block stamping. And I don't know how many of you have done this before, but I thought it would be a good one to try. You need to have a clean block. So I did clean one side. I couldn't get the other side clean. There's stuff on it. So I've got to spend some time doing that. So I cleaned the one side for it to work. You also need to, what was I going to say? Oh, you need to use foam pads, not the linen, old linen ones, because you got to put down a lot of ink on the block. So with that, this is the sample card I made, and I'm actually going to show you 4 other ideas. So there's the first one. Now, I went ahead and cut out my pieces beforehand, and I used, put that up there. I used the stitched rectangle framelits, and I used either this size or this size, because I did do some with the larger one and some with that smaller one. So it's like the second and the third one in from the biggest. So I did those. All right, I cut this paper, and I'm going to turn it around this way. When I cut this one out, apparently my early espresso wasn't dry and it got on my plate. So I got a little color there, but once I put this on, it's not going to show up. Let me see. Can I get this in lower? No, see, it won't let me, and I've got it down as low as I can go. So I'm sorry, guys. It won't go any lower, I don't think. That's for that. Nope, it won't go. All right, so what you take and do is you take your ink pad and you put your stamp on it, and you want to ink it up really good. See how much ink I have on there?
Wow.
Now this is really dark. This is Mary Merlot. So I'm going to off stamp it once. Oops. When you off stamp it, you got to pull straight up or you get lines in it. That might make it interesting. And then I'm going to stamp this on here, like so. And I'm going to give it a few minutes to transfer. Well, okay, let's try again. Maybe I do need to use it full strength. Let's use it full strength and see what happens. This one might just be really dark. I'm just going to stamp it right on top, like so. Yep, that's just going to be the way it is. It's not the color that I thought it would be. Oh, I'm stamping on vanilla. That might make a difference. All right, so I'm going to set this one aside to dry. I'm using different colors. I have a paper towel here to clean my block off. All right. Here's my next one. And I'm going to try this one in the landscape mode. And I'm using Seaside Spray. So I'm going to ink my stamp up. All right. And I'm going to stamp that. Oops, almost dropped it. I've got a spot right there that I can't get. What I do is I hit the edge to get some on there, but it puts lines in it, so then you have to go back. I think I twisted it, which helped. That did, yes. All right, so I'm going to stamp it here. What, honey?
Something really happened.
Something really happens? What did you do? It ended because the computer went to sleep. Put your code in again. I don't know. I don't know if it was yours or the teacher's. All right. So there's that one. Now, I'm doing a bunch of these. If you do it, you only do one, you want to take and let it sit and dry in between. By doing a bunch of them, it'll dry before I get back to it. All right. Then I'm going to do 2 with soft sea foam. I found, like, this is crushed curry and it's kind of dark. So I tried to choose. Is anything going on? Okay, can you get it?
It's in my box.
All right, go get it. You have to get it? All right, I'm gonna do this one landscape also. I'm gonna do one landscape. And it's okay if it's blotchy like that. By the time you add your pieces to it, it won't really matter. And then it probably would be better if there's a foam mat underneath. And I didn't bring one down. So, all right. See, that one turned out a little better. All right, there's that one. And then I have one more to do. And I'm going to do that one in Sahara sand. And I got to do it portrait. I'm sharing with you some different ways or different ideas with this, because I know a lot of times you see something and you may not be able to come up with something. Did you find it, honey? I assumed that this was lunchtime for them, but it's not, so.
What color was the green you used?
Soft sea foam.
Okay.
All right. I was going to use crumb cake. Now that's Sahara sand, and look how dark that is. Crumb cake would have been a lot darker. We need a really, really light brown, which we don't have. All right, so I've got those done. Now I'm going to go back to this one, and I'm going to take the Celebrate Sunflowers, and I'm going to use the sunflower and the Thanks a Bunch for this one. And I'm going to stamp both of those in Early Espresso. So I'm going to take my stamp and I'm going to ink it up. And I'm going to stamp it right on top. So then I get it. See, that's really dark. I wanted a red. And I thought early Mary Merlot would do it, but that's
I like that though.
That's pretty.
all right. Now I've inked up my Thanks a Bunch in Early Espresso also, and I've stamped it on the bottom. I'm going to pull in my paper and my cardstock. This piece is 1/8 of an inch larger. So you're just putting a hint of color on the back, and I'm going to add that to my, I seem to have trouble with this, with those strings. And then when I get the strings, getting it to come back. There we go. Nope, that's not it either. There it is, because it's all over everything. If I remember to go up and back, pull back, I'm good. All right, so there's that. I got glue all over my fingers, and I'm going to add this to my layer. And again, don't press down till you're happy with where you have it, because once you put it down, you're not getting it back up. And then I have a very vanilla card base, and I'm going to put this on there, but I'm not using dimensionals or anything. I'm keeping it flat. I really like this seal, but boy, there's a learning curve with it.
I'm glad you're doing it, not me.
Yeah. Okay, so I add that, and then because I wanted some, it just kind of, I thought it was flat, I'm gonna add some of the gold glitter dots. And I had, no, I'm not gonna open that. I'm gonna use these. I had these left, so I used these. I don't know if any of you got these, but remember, fold it back, fold the plastic back and stick your pokey tool underneath, because if you try to push it off, excuse me, try to push it off, what happens is it separates and the gold piece is left there with the sticky part, and you can't use it. You can't put it back together. I tried. Okay, so there's our first card. And that was a repeat of this one. Now I'm going to go to the blue one. And I stamped this with soft sea foam. And for this one, I'm using the Sailing Home, the large sailboat. I'm going to stamp that.
That's soft sea foam?
That's soft sea foam. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You really need to look to use light colors.
Yeah, because that looks blue.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. It's Seaside Spray.
Seaside, okay.
Ah. All right. So I'm going to take my Night of Navy and my large sailboat, and I'm going to ink it up, and I'm going to stamp it here to the side, like so.
That's cute.
All right. Now, I'm not going to add a sentiment. I'll do that later, just because I don't know what I'm going to use it for. I took a piece of Night of Navy, a little bit larger, and I'm going to add it. All right, come on, there we go. Sometimes it goes down and I can't see it. All right, I'm going to add this here. Again, don't stick it down till you're happy. I can still move it. It was too far down. All right, there we go. Oops, this side's down too far. I don't know if I can move it or not. It doesn't like to be taken up. All right, I hadn't pushed down hard. All right. This one is going to be, what, honey?
Never mind.
Is your meeting over?
What?
Is your meeting over?
No.
Well, then you need to listen.
I don't know.
Oh my goodness, girl, what did you do? There. Now, what are you supposed to be doing? They all look like they're doing something. Okay, so I'm going to add this one to, and I used either Whisper White or Very Vanilla card base for all of these. All right, and I'm going to add this. And when I add my sentiment for this one, I'm going to stamp it right in this blue area, and I'll use Night of Navy so it shows up. So there's a masculine version.
I like that one.
Yeah, that is pretty.
All right, so there's that one. And I'll add rhinestones or something. I may even add some of the new rhinestones. And then I thought, well, can we do a Christmas version? So I'm going to take the one that I did in portrait, and I have to grab my stamp, my ink. I'm gonna get my block. All right, and I'm gonna add my tree, and I'm using Winter Woods, the pine tree. All right, and I'm going to take and I'm going to stamp it in shaded spruce. So this is soft seafoam and this is shaded spruce. So if I used a light color, I tried to use a dark color to stamp with so it would show up. All right, so I have my tree and I'm going to stamp it like so. And I'm going to keep it in the center because what I will do, hopefully that's on straight. Put Merry Christmas down there. I cut a piece of shaded spruce to put it on. Wave that a little bit, make sure it gets dry.
Well, you could mass produce those. That's good.
Yes, you could sit down and do, I thought this was an easy Christmas.
Yeah.
All right, let me put this one on. Like so. All right, then I'm going to take and I'm going to add it to a Whisper White card base. Now, what you could take and do is you could add another thin layer of gold to it. That would really dress it up. But I decided, and again, I will stamp it with Merry Christmas in red. I don't know if I have a Merry Christmas current set. All right. Let me get this opened and put it down. But I thought to add some color, I would use some red rhinestones and put it on the tree in various spots to give it some, just a little bit of color and sparkle. So I'd put one like there, and then I would sprinkle them all over the tree, like so. And you can use as few or as many as you want on this. If you're mass producing it and you don't want to, buy too many of these, just put the one at the top. And I'm not counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I got to add 3 more. 9, 10, and 1 more. And then if you stamp it with Merry Christmas, I think that's a very pretty
That is pretty.
Christmas card. And you can stamp Merry Christmas in red. Pretty. And the block that I used is a D block, I think. Yep, D. Did you do something again?
No. Just on.
Huh? All right, take your hand off. All right, you're all set? All right, don't put your hand on there. All right, now I'm going to go back to that soft seafoam one, and I got to switch out. I'm going to use, I thought I'll use the Positive Thoughts and this fern, and I thought it would make a really pretty sympathy card. So I'm going to use the shaded spruce again to ink this up. And this one does say hugs, prayers, love, but if you have a stamp set that says with sympathy, I think it would be just as nice. And I'm going to stamp my fern, and I'm going to do it at an angle this time, like so. And see, then you can put with sympathy over here. All right, I'm going to get that one. I'm going to put this on a shaded spruce background. Okay. Let me see if I can get this one down without it moving on me and even. And then I decided to put this on a soft seafoam card just to see what it would look like. All the rest I'd use white, and I thought, well, let's see what it would look like with a soft seafoam card base. So, I mean, you don't have to use white or vanilla, but
Oh, that's nice.
so that's, I mean, really, you can mass produce these if you need, like, and have them on hand.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, with sympathy would be pretty. And you can add rhinestones, gems, whatever you want to them. I probably will later. All right, and I have one left. And this one was the
Sahara sand.
Sahara sand. And I'll get my pieces over here. I decided to use, I'm trying something different with this one too. I'm using, can't get it, Seaside Notions, and I'm going to use the seahorse and this shell and the sand dollar. And I'm going to try some other colors. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take my seahorse and I'm going to stamp him in Early Espresso, if I can find it, which is here. This is the problem when here it is. I'm working downstairs and not in my studio. All right, so I have my seahorse done. I'm going to turn it so I can see it. Stamp him down. And then I'm going to take crumb cake and I'm going to stamp my sand dollar. I decided to add some color to this one, so I'll stamp my sand dollar there. Again, you can put like hello up there or whatever you want to put. And then I'm going to take Calypso Coral and I'm going to do some rock and roll. Couldn't think. So I'm going to stamp it here and then I'm going to go into my coral. I don't know how this is going to work, so we'll see. And I'm just going to stamp this one like so. Not sure I like that Sahara sand on there, but probably would have been better to use crumb cake. But it did give it some other color. Excuse me, I'm going to mount that onto a piece of Early Espresso. If you're going to do this, give your block your block stamping time to dry, because if not,
I can already count to 100.
did you unmute yourself? All right, so I'm going to add this.
Bye, Mrs. Tapio. Bye, Mrs. Like It.
She tried unmuting this morning and it wouldn't work.
The meeting ended.
Okay. All right. Give me a minute because mine's almost over too. Perfect timing. All right. So here's the one I started with. Here's another version. Then I did the masculine. Then I did the Christmas. I'll move these up so you can see. Then I did the sympathy and then the C one. So there's 6 that I did.
I like your cards you made.
So what do you think?
I like them all. The Christmas ones particularly.
Yeah,
And the sailboat one. That's
Yeah, that boat's cool.
yeah,
They're all pretty.
They
yeah.
are. They are. And the sympathy one, I'm making a sympathy card right now, and that's much easier than what I'm trying to do.
Do you need to borrow my set?
Maybe.
We're right next door to each other.
Oh, okay. That's convenient.
Yes, it is.
Be a
So,
little bit of a trip for me.
yeah. But I thought that this was a great idea to give you some ideas on how to do something a little different. And it's a quick and easy thing. And like you said, you can mass produce them.
Figured out wrong Diane's lawnmower.
So
You stripped the pulley out.
I think it was a great thing. I just happened to see somebody post something and I went looking and found it. So then I just started with how many different ideas could I come up with?
Yeah, I like them all. They're all very nice.
Okay. Well, usually I just do one card and it doesn't take long. So I thought today, since it's so fast, I'd do a couple and give you some ideas.
Cool.
Very nice.
All right. I've got to come up with sentiments and then I'll post these. I think I'm going to do hello on this one. I got to find, I know I have a with sympathy, but I don't know if it's current. Same with
There's
me.
I'm using a with deepest sympathy out of, let's see what I have. Peaceful Moments. Peaceful Moments has,
Oh, I don't have that one.
well, I'm next door.
Yeah, I know. It's like, Barb, do you have this? Robbie, do you have this? The itty bitty greetings might have a Merry Christmas, but I think it would look better if it's larger.
Yeah, I have an old
large.
Merry Christmas that would look good on that.
Yeah, this one actually says, thinking of you this season. I didn't really want that. I wanted
Yeah,
Merry Christmas.
yeah,
So, but there you go, ladies.
very nice.
Very nice.
All right. Let me stop the recording. And then if there's any feedback you can give me,